How's everybody doing this Sunday? It's a little rainy and gray outside here, but other than that, we're doing pretty well. Mm-hmm. 2 cups over here with 2 cups.
Hey, 2 cups. 2 cups Shawty.
2 cups over here with the 2 guys.
Hey, 2 cups Shawty. 2 cups of truth, man. We getting ready to start this thing on out. I get one thing to the next. In times like
I feel discouraged sometimes. Living every day under extensive criticism, even from Negroes. I feel discouraged sometimes.
Yeah, that's what we're getting ready to do, y'all. We're getting ready to start this whole podcast, y'all. Hey, man, the big homie, 2 cups Shawty. Drunk as a Jerry curl in the building. Hey, we getting ready to start this whole thing, y'all, man. Look, me and Razzle Dazzle in here. We ain't started it yet, but hey, me and Razzle Dazzle in here. Hey, what we say? Hey, the topic of the day. The topic of the day is sideways, forward, and backwards. How does direction play a factor in your life?
Living every day under extensive criticism.
I'm ready to go. I
feel discouraged sometimes.
So.
Ready.
Welcome. Welcome to 2 Cups Shawty, 2 Cups of Truth. Hey, I'm here with my dog. You know I'm talking about who I'm gonna win championships with. You know who it is. Razzle Dazzle, the force of reason. How you doing today, young lady?
I'm doing pretty well. I am doing pretty well. Moving a little slow, but I'm doing pretty well.
All right, man. So look, we're gonna do it a little bit different today. Hey, this is us up in here. So look, we starting this out. 2 cups Shawty, 2 cups of truth.
Even from Negroes, I feel discouraged.
Radio TV podcast. So, hey, that topic of the day, that thing of the day that we were discussing just now. Sideways, forward, and backwards. These words we might not even pay attention to on a daily basis. Sideways, forward, and backwards. I wanted to start with sideways because during this time, a year or a season in our life, we might feel like some people might be coming at us sideways. hey. You know what I mean? So I'm just tipping the iceberg with this topic right now. But so, rather that's why I like to go to the voice of reason first before I get to saying what I got to say. You know what I'm saying? So, as I'm talking about sideways, what you feeling like?
So currently, there has been some sideways action, some sideways attempts. You know, people coming at me sideways. And what I have decided to do, what I have been doing, is taking a deep breath. I literally just this morning I had to do it. Take a deep breath, and you know, sometimes my perception is that I'm being come at sideways when actuality people speaking their truth. And the truth of the matter is, some of it was accurate. I can't, I won't lie. 2 cups of truth, that's my truth. Like, you know, sometimes people are coming at you, what you're perceiving to be sideways. It's time for a position for you to possibly grow. And that's what I'm looking at, those attempts as time to grow. I'm ready to grow.
Hey, sideways, to me, you know, like somebody always sideways, out of pocket, always got something going on that they ain't got supposed to be going on, especially with you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, sideways is crazy. Like, some people so sideways in their approach. Some people so sideways in they demeanor.
Right.
They just sideways all the way around. Then when you check them, they want to have a problem. Like, you know, like, hey, you know, when somebody gets sideways with you, it depends on what song you were listening to before it happened.
Okay.
Because if you were listening to something like Bone Crusher, I ain't never scared.
Oh boy.
Hey, I'm talking about somebody get sideways with you. And then Bone Crusher, I ain't never scared. Like if you were listening to that going into a party, or going into a situation, or going to work. Have you ever been listening to Jeezy going to work? Like something like that, and you feel like you selling dope?
No matter what it is you're moving, if you moving, you know, the fax machine moving, the CDs moving, the MP3s moving, whatever it is that you're moving, you feel like you're moving some work. I can dig it. I can most definitely dig it. Sometimes I feel like I'm jigging when I be moving my bundles. Hell.
Hey, you got bossy bundles.
Moving my bundles, moving this liquid lipo, whatever it is I'm moving that day.
Hey, you gotta have something to sell. Hey, if you in Atlanta and you ain't got nothing to sell, you in the wrong place.
You most definitely in the wrong place, whether it's a service or a product.
Hey, you better get with it.
Consumers are here. Consumers are here. Consumers are here.
Cause if you ain't got nothing to sell them, they definitely gonna sell you something.
Yeah, because I'm coming selling them 3 things off rip. Let's just be clear.
Hey, so we started out with sideways, talking about forward. What's holding us back? How come we can't move forward? It's some way we need to move forward. It need to be a formula to moving forward. What's forward look like?
Forgiving yourself for the past. Forgiving others for their actions that happened in the past.
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness is most definitely key to moving forward.
No, some things, is there anything that's unforgivable?
The truth of the matter is, if in order for you to move forward, you have to forgive. The truth of the matter is, you don't necessarily have to forget or, you know, I guess, be okay with that person to be in the setting with that person, but forgiving someone for an action towards you or a loved one is really releasing you from prison. You know, somebody told me a long time ago, you know, you holding grudges is basically you putting yourself in prison for their actions. You know, on the emotional tip.
Man,
and so,
fuck them people, man.
Right, I mean, and that's cool.
Like straight up, like I listen, like I ain't, like you know what? For me to move forward, like you know, like I don't feel like I just got to.
And forgive.
You know, I forgive, but you know, we say forgive and not forget, something like that, right?
Yeah.
So I know. So for me moving forward, man, like it putting your ass so far behind me. You know, or if it's a person, or if it's a thing, or if it's a situation, or what, no matter what it is,
right.
You know, like, you know, I just don't want to tie it to an individual or a person, but it can be a thing. It can, you know, it can be a memory. You know, it can be a lot of things that we need to just put behind. There's so much we need to bury and put behind us, and some stuff get buried. People get buried with it. You know, and they think that you got a grudge or you holding something against them. No, I just buried something that wasn't good for me.
Right.
You just happen to be part of that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, you can have that. I seen something recently where somebody was saying that, have you ever had to have a funeral for somebody that's still living?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times, you know, we all do, you know, friendships, relationships, situations.
Right.
You know, entanglements have to be buried.
Got to be buried.
Like we said, the person get buried along with those emotions and memories.
Yeah, you got to let it go. I mean, like you sitting here with it, and you just have to let this thing here go.
Right.
You know, like this is you know, this is adults talking. Number one, so it's like, you know, it's people, they dead to you or to your life, you know what I mean? And nothing else, their service is no longer needed.
Right. Yeah.
whatever God sent them for, it was for.
Yeah, been there, done that. That's that, and that can be difficult. But honestly speaking, if you are in a place of your desire is to grow, you have to, deal with those things, bring it to a head, understand um, uh, what the learning meaning of, what the learning was, what you were supposed to learn from it. Excuse me, I got tongue tied. But what you were supposed to learn from it and move on, and then once you move on, you're moving on a better person, a better version of yourself. So, and I've had to do that, and it is very difficult for me to do that because I don't allow people into my personal space lightly in the first place. So for me to invite someone in, and then obviously, that relationship or situation has come to its end, it is sometimes difficult. And sometimes when people prematurely, end a relationship that I'm not prepared for it to end, I don't want it to end.
Oh, shit.
Then I've had to deal with that. I'm just saying, that's just the truth. Like sometimes I in relationships, and sometimes people in relationships with me that I ain't ready to end. But
you in relationships that you ain't ready to end.
No. I have had people in relationships with me that I wasn't ready to end, and then I ended relationships that they probably didn't want to end also. I mean, it's a give and take. I don't necessarily hold anybody up to a different standard than I do myself. All I'm saying is what I've had to deal with.
Right, but how we get to talking about relationships?
But see, that's the thing. I'm not talking about just like a monogamous relationship. Even some of my friendships.
Okay.
Had to get expired. I'm just not talking about relationships. Friendships have had to get deaded.
All kind of ships.
Who?
All kind of ships. So that was a good introduction to forward. So backwards. What you know what I'm saying? It's some backward ass people. Hey, it's your backward face ass boy. But I mean, get the man. It's goddamn. You don't get your backward walking ass young lady goddamn like. But it's some backward people, man. Like, hey, it's some backward people think backwards.
Yes.
Do shit backwards.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We doing shit that keep us going backwards. You know what I'm saying? This was it got. I know a lot of smart ass people going backwards.
Yeah.
Backwards is backwards is almost like karma. I think backwards and karma are cousins or something. They got to be. Going backwards and karma or something like.
They good friends. There's something going on for sure.
There's something.
Sure.
Backwards and karma.
For sure.
So what you feel about backwards?
Ooh. Sometimes we go backwards out of comfort. So I think we lost our live on my end. So I'm just gonna go ahead and end that. I'm sorry, y'all. So as far as backwards, sometimes I think we dip backwards, trying to go back to a good place, when in all actuality that expiration has been executed. Sometimes we go backwards, like you said, it could be karmic. You know what I mean? It could be you getting pushed back down to something because clearly your hard-headed ass did not learn that lesson that was presented. And then sometimes we go backwards. What's another way or another reason for us going backwards?
Stupid.
Yeah.
Don't ask me,
Right. I'm trying to brainstorming and stuff. But sometimes you do that dip back. For like you said, for silly reasons, for stupid reasons, for reasons that we feel like something wasn't finished, so we gotta dip back and finish something. And although it's been deaded, but in our heads we make it make sense for us. But I feel like, in that situation, having a couple, if you have one good person that you can kind of count on to bounce ideas off of and situations off of, and they're going to be legit honest, that's cool. But you don't want to just burden, one person with a bunch of stuff. So having, 3 people, depending upon the topic of discussion that you can kind of bounce things off of, that may help you. But those are most definitely reasons why we dip back, go backwards. And sometimes, unfortunately, no matter how much we feel like we learn, because when you in that valley, you deep in that valley, you are, oh, I learned my lesson. I did this. I realized this. And you make a mental note and say, hey, this is why this happened and this is what I'm going to have to do in order for it not to happen again. Couple situations, weeks or whatever down the line, here you go right back in that situation. And you just supposedly learn from it, but you're not executing what you learned. You know what I mean? So that's a dip back. That's most definitely a dip back.
Hey man, there's people going backwards. I know people they hustle backwards.
Whoa.
They just backwards, man. Like backwards is like such a horrible word.
Man.
Like especially when you talk about life and moving forward and
growth.
You know what I'm saying? And all these things backwards.
Right. You just mentioned people hustling backwards, and I am truly baffled. I've taken a couple of courses when I was in college and with different organizations that offered different business aspect courses. I've taken several of those over my life or whatever, and I'm totally baffled and confused by meeting people who are selling a product or selling a service and they're practically giving it away. Now, one thing that I do realize in business is that giving things away for free to get your product out or to get your name out is most definitely beneficial. Now, if you're doing that year in and year out and breaking even, you're basically, as 2 Cup Shawty said, hustling backwards. And one thing that people don't know, and that, I know I just, drug this over to the business aspect, but people don't know their numbers, and not knowing your numbers will most definitely have you hustling backwards.
Yeah, well, you ain't dragging over. That's just part of something. What I'm saying, people be going backwards. People find inventive ways to go backwards. You know what I mean? People like
reinventing the wheel.
Hey man, they go backwards. Right, they go backwards in new ways.
Right.
They be, you know what I'm saying? They go backwards in ways we don't even realize they going backwards. They don't know they going backwards. We don't know they going backwards. All we know is that they just ended up back there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, if it don't,
shoulder to shoulder.
Right. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, man.
What? And that wheel does not have to be reinvented, y'all. I'll tell you that.
So we talking about sideways, forward, and backwards. Sideways, forward, and backwards. How does direction play a factor in your life? I mean, like this, not having direction, seeking direction, wanting direction, admiring direction. I mean, like being acceptable to direction.
Yes, that's a good one.
Hey, so how does direction play a factor in your life? Sideways, forward, and backwards. We talking about direction today. You know what I'm saying? See, now that sounds like the pre. Now I feel like we done worked up to it, and we done finally got to it. It might be time. It might be time for one or two cut Shawty sermons around this goddamn camp. And so, but sideways, forward, and backwards. How does direction play a factor in your life? Like for me, being guided the right way is very important. Being taught the right things, being able to see the right things, understanding, or just having somebody there to tell you the difference, even if they doing wrong.
Right.
What's the difference in between where they're gonna end up at and where you could end up at? I remember the OGs in my hood, CPT, Crichton part of town. I look like I might be cripping or something today, but I ain't no gang banging them, but big love to Nipsey Hussle. You know what I mean? I just left the West Coast, so I'm still feeling kind of West Coastish. So that might be what's going on with my attire today. But anyway, damn, we podcasting. Hey. How quickly we forget. Direction. Just mean we got a guy, I need,
So what did let's go back. What did the OGs from your hood, what did they impart?
Oh, they just want to let me get into a lot of things. Shout out to Remy. Shout out to Digit D. Shout out to Ray Jones. Shout out to Albert. You know, shout out to Boo Boo. You know what I'm saying? Free Kenny Esters, Mike D. You know, my whole block back down, you know, like they won't let me get into too many things. Mm-hmm. They won't let me get into too many things. They'll come say, nah, you know, you can get your money this way, but this other way right here, that ain't for you.
Right.
And, you know, so they kept me staying in line. So I know a lot of my partners, you know, went to jail. They had to go do their little vacations and stuff like that. So guidance, you know what I mean? Right. Then, you know, and when you hustle the way that we hustled coming up, you know what I mean, you learn a lot about sideways. You know what I mean? Because everything's sideways. Even out here in Atlanta, everything's sideways. You know, every angle, every conversation you get into, business-wise, people are, you know, and that's the biggest sideways line I think that's in Atlanta is, you know, man, hey, let's link up about some business. See, I see you sideways already.
Why? Why is that sideways already? Good day. Hey, you shut them down.
Hey, you sideways, man. You know what I mean? Like, what, all this, like, no, you don't even want to know my name.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't even know if we can coexist.
Right. And you just going straight into
some business.
You're right. You are absolutely right about that.
You know, so it's sideways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know what I'm saying? But having direction and being able to have vision, you know, that might be the next podcast. We talk about vision, but having discernment. And when you experiencing sideways, you know, this, you know, sideways, you know, this part of my book, Sideways, it's one of my chapters, or it's one of my books within my book. Yeah, I got a book that I put books in.
A book within the book.
I got a book that's like the Bible. The Bible full of books.
Hey, all right then.
The book of Job. So this is the book of Sideways.
That's a whole
it's gonna be the book of Sideways, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, you know, there's some commandments in there, all kind of things. But Sideways is serious, man. So I'm saying, like, hey, I be out here in Atlanta, I be enjoying myself, you know what I mean? But, you know, when they get to talking about business, okay, I would jump. I'm thinking sideways. Like, you know, the sideways, you know what I mean? And then when you want to deal with any other level thing, you know, like I know most people, they like to talk about relationship. I'm a relationship guru. So, and there's so many things that be sideways in a relationship, or a person think so somebody be in a relationship, and the other person don't be in the same relationship. So, you know what I'm saying? And they getting, you know, they getting mad about stuff that they got in their mind that this person supposed to be doing, saying, reacting to. Cause this person not in the same relationship that you in.
You better say that.
You know what I'm saying? Now, if you enjoying yourself in your relationship, I just suggest you continue to enjoy yourself in your relationship. Don't even tell the other person. Don't like.
You just living that in your head.
Hey, live your best life right there. You know what I mean? Like,
Lord, yes, sir.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you in, like, you know, so it's cool, but sideways though. It's sideways, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, but it's gonna be a book of Sideways. It's gonna be in my book. What the name of my book is?
Oh boy.
I gotta remember.
The book of Two Cups?
No, Crooked Straight Lines. Crooked Straight Lines. Right trick, wrong hustle.
Okay then.
Crooked Straight Lines.
Right trick, wrong hustle.
Right trick, wrong hustle. That's the name of my book. The album.
Yeah, speaking of tricks.
The soundtrack, the movie, the Crooked Straight Line, right trick, wrong hustle. Cause I've been with this. Well, we're gonna educate like.
Speaking of tricks, it's almost time for Halloween. What? So I said, speaking of tricks, it's almost time for Halloween. And you know, a lot of tricking goes on. A lot of tricking going on in Atlanta. Period. Let's just be clear. But you know, some extra special dress up and costumes and stuff is presented around Halloween. So I just thought I'd drop that little tidbit in.
Oh yeah. Hey, it's Halloween, so we got to get the current topics anyway. Right. So we got to get the current topics anyway. So, you know, just rolling right into it. Then, you know what I mean? Like, we sticking on the subject. Hey, Hey, right trick, wrong hustle. That is pole head checking in.
Right trick, wrong hustle. That's,
right trick, wrong hustle.
That's
Hey, what was I saying? I said right trick, wrong hustle. That's it. Hey,
yeah, that's what you said.
Check in, pole head. Hey, that's my dog. Hey, Late Gate Radio, checking in. Current topics: sideways, forward, and backwards. How does that factor into your life? You know what I mean? So even so, going with current topic, you know, we can even go with the election.
The presidential
election. What's sideways? What's forward? What's backwards about this situation? You know what I'm saying? That and how is direction playing a factor in the election? Because there's a lot of directions going.
There's a lot of directions going in this circus, that AKA the election. Lord.
Hey, listen.
It's a lot of sideways. I think we discussed this, or kind of tapped into it on a previous podcast, and I mentioned that it was a circus. I am, staying more abreast of what's going on and trying to watch as many of the debates as possible. But they are really comical at this point. I can't take any of them serious. I can't take whether it's the president or the vice presidents. Just be clear. Can't take them much serious. Everybody has their agenda. As far as I'm concerned, I'm seeing straight through them. So, but I mean, we have to vote. We have to elect the president, and whichever president gets elected, here comes their jester, aka the vice president, coming in right behind him. So, whatever.
Hey man, these folks out here, they doing what they do.
Right.
But so first of all, the whole election is sideways.
The entire.
It is sideways. Hey, it's
the entire.
Hey, it's never gonna go forward. Hey, it only has backwards potential. The election is sideways, that will never go forward, only got backwards potential. Like, you ain't see that almost sound like poetry.
Oh yeah.
It's it doesn't got backwards potential.
Yeah, I am. So what are your thoughts on the presidential election and the debates that they've had thus far?
I mean, like, the debates, which debate? You want to start with the presidential debate?
Whichever one you want to, the presidential or the vice president.
Or the vice presidents. I like the first debate better.
The presidential?
I like the president. It was more entertaining. It was definitely.
The jokes were more present?
Yeah, it was definitely high quality comedy. Like, I don't think you could have wrote a better comedy script than what we got when we got with that. I mean, Trump lived up to my expectations. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna be, he lived up, like, you can say, first of all, I like to put this out there that I'm not a Trump supporter.
Right.
I don't support Trump.
Right.
I vote for us, with us, by us. I'm FUBU all the way. But when you look at Trump, one thing I want people to know about Trump that you got to respect. He is that nigga.
He's consistently foolish.
Hey, he is that nigga. I don't care what. Look, listen. When you see Trump, a nigga done showed up. I'm talking about like this. Like, that nigga is not gonna disappoint. That nigga gonna say some shit. He ain't got no bit. Listen, he's gonna you can. If anybody can argue, can you argue the fact that he's not that nigga? Like, he is like the most disrespectful.
You're right. Inconsistent.
Hey, if he not, tell me he not that nigga.
He's consistent.
Trump, you can't tell me Trump is not that nigga. He is that nigga.
Consistently foolish.
He gonna show up like he's fresh out of prison or some shit. That nigga that nigga be on one. That nigga be on one.
Fresh out the D block.
Hey, that nigga shoot motherfuckers with rubber bullets. He don't give a fuck. Like,
He doesn't. And it is.
Hey, but I'm not a Trump supporter. But all I'm saying is that it's gonna have to be a movie made about this dude, man.
Right.
That nigga's a mobster.
Right.
Nigga ain't playing no games around here, man.
Like, don't care.
And finna file bankruptcy. Soon he get like, I'm trying, and watch it. He gonna,
you think a bankruptcy's coming up?
Oh, a few of them.
But really, seriously, I wonder when his last one was filed. Because that would be very telling.
That's what they do. He ain't the only one do it.
Oh, yeah, come on.
That's what they do. You got this,
every 7 years, like clockwork, baby. What's up?
But one thing that, no matter how you look at these type of people like Trump and other powerful people, man, look, they know one thing, that's forward. That, you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
So they know forward. They know, hey, I'm here, I'm going there. Like, and they have mastered this shit.
Absolutely, and they teach each other how to do it.
Hey, hold on. Hold head on here talking business. Hey, first of all, I would vote for Kanye. I think I said it before. I would vote for Kanye for president if Kanye ran for president. That was somebody chimed in and said Kanye for president.
Yeah, might as well.
Hey, I would vote Kanye for president. I would. Right. You know what I mean? Like, and I would expect him to be that nigga like Trump is that nigga. Just show your whole entire ass, man. Like, do your thing. Represent. We already had a dignified president. We already had Obama. We need somebody to get in there and match this nigga shit.
And that's what Trump and Kanye gonna do.
Hey, that's what Kanye gonna do. Match this nigga shit. Hey.
I'm curious to know if either current presidential or president-elect will entertain Kanye on any basis. I know him and Donald Trump have done, their little whatever's, meetings and things of that nature. But I'm seriously wondering if he has positioned himself to be more closely working with either of them, whether it be, Biden or what's his name? Trump. Excuse me.
Well, anyway, man, the weather have been crazy. Hurricanes and stuff coming through. Shout out to all the people that's on the Gulf Coast that got affected by the storms, whether it was this one or the last one. Keep rebuilding, keep doing your thing down there. Lakegate got a song for song in Mobile. And they got to give me the date. I forgot the date right now. Hopefully they can post the date up in the comments. They got new song for song. Submit your music here on this podcast, 2 Cup Shawty, 2 Cup the Truth TV radio podcast. We definitely accept the music. Send in your music. The Gabby Grace Talent at gmail.com. Check in with Lakegate and get this music to us, man. Cause we finna start, pumping music. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a part.
Movement.
Yeah, a movement. You know what I mean? See, one thing about a movement got to have a direction.
Absolutely.
The movement, the movement gonna be what? Is the movement gonna be sideways? The movement gonna be forward? The movement gonna be backwards? You know what I'm saying? So I'm voting for forward. You know what I mean? It's November the 15th, people. It's November the 15th. It's November the 15th, song for song in Mobile, Alabama. Hey, look it up on the internet. Check it out.
Where can they find Lakegate? Where they see on social media?
Yeah.
What's his handles?
Yeah, just Google Lakegate Slate.
Lakegate Slate.
Hey, Google Lakegate Slate, and you'll start finding all them different handles and stuff like that. I'm still old school. I mean, I ain't up on. I ain't a millennial.
Send him a smoke signal.
Hey, that's right. You know what I'm saying? I go call it mama. Hey.
Oh Lord, don't call it mama.
Hey, hey, man, look, I can't find it. Tell them, that's how we send messages.
Through your mind?
Through your mama.
Yeah.
Like, hey, But yeah, but it's going down, man. Song for song, man. It's one of the biggest things in the city down there. So I definitely wanted to get that information out.
Okay.
The NBA Finals come on tonight.
Do they?
Yeah, the NBA Finals. Man, Miami won a second game. I wanted Miami to win one. I wanted Miami to win. So shout out to all the people in Florida, all my Florida people. You know what I mean? All my people in the muck. You know what I mean? Belgrade, Miami. You know what we doing.
I'm so content.
St. Petersburg.
Oh yeah, I have family down in St. Pete. St. Pete, Tampa, Clearwater.
Oh yeah.
Shout out. What's going on?
Hey, that whole area down there.
Absolutely.
Hey, from Orlando down. we shouting out. Hey, that's what's up. To all the people up north, Detroit. Hey, everybody checking in, man. Like, hey, man, this podcast been catching some traction, man. We checking in.
Detroit checking in.
Hey,
What's going on, Detroit?
Man. Hey, Detroit checking in. That Detroit checking in. That West Coast be checking in.
Okay. And that's so funny. I was just thinking that. Like, I wonder what's going on with the West Side.
Hey, man, check in on Roku TV. The Dirty South Radio Show. It's the Dirty South Radio Show, October the 15th at 8 p.m.
October the 15th.
Yep. It's on Roku TV. Roku. One of them things. Hey, Dirty South Radio.
That's Thursday.
Yeah, October the 15th.
Okay.
That's Thursday.
That is Thursday.
Hey, Drunken Thursday.
Yeah.
Hey, so sideways, forward, backwards. You know what I'm saying? For the people who checking in. What y'all feel about that, man? What y'all feel about sideways, forward, and backwards? How does it affect your life? Sideways, forward, and backwards, man. Sideways, forward, and backwards. Yeah. Being misguided and not having enough guidance then took us out the long way.
Yeah, and I don't know, I just, excuse me, as far as, how it affects or, what it have to do with your life or whatever. One thing I can say is being coachable, being teachable, always being a student. No matter how smart you are. That's just what I can, impart on you guys.
So my final, I guess, wrapping the whole thing up.
Right.
You know how I like to do it, what the final message, like what the last thing that you would like to leave with people.
That basically, I think I jumped a little bit.
You jumped a little bit.
I jumped a little bit.
Hey, okay.
But no, that's what I basically want to, like I said, leave you guys with. Being a student is a beautiful thing. You never gonna, know everything, and it's okay. Mm-hmm. Even the smartest, wealthiest people are taking courses from people who know that different subject matter, and it's absolutely okay. The more teachable you are, the more you can grow. That's all I can say. And I'm always leaving you guys with love and growth. Mm-hmm. My sunflower and my heart.
That's Razzle Dazzle, the voice of reason.
The voice of reason.
The voice of reason. You're too cut Shawty. Drunk as a Jerry curl. And so you see the dynamics in between that relationship, right?
And cracker. I'm just joking.
Right, super crazy.
Right,
like just masked up. Hey, they're masking up the crazy. Like right. You know what I'm saying? Like they put me out here at the face of crazy when they know that they nuts. But hey, too cut Shawty, man. Hey, that's what I'm trying, just try to stay out of sideways situations. Just try to keep from being sideways when you can be straight. You know what I mean? If you can be straight, you got a good chance of going forward. If you can be straight. So that's just what I want to leave you with, like a parable type. You know what I mean? So, you know what this is? This is Too Cut Shawty. Look, we gotta find a little thing, man. Like, I can't keep up with it.
What's that? Keep up with what?
That is. See, I'm learning, y'all. So we getting ready to get out of here, man. Hey, I appreciate y'all listening to 2 Cup Shawty. Hey, radio, TV, podcast. See you next week.
Y'all be good out there.
Bye.